Hello and welcome back to the second part of the guided access assignment for Chapter 5. So we're starting with Step 8. Step 8 says open the Find Low Quantities query in Design View. So we go to Queries, there's the Find Low Quantities. We'll do a right click and click Design View. Add criteria for the on-hand quantity field. So here's the on-hand quantity field. It wants us to put something there. The user should be prompted to enter threshold. The query should display all results that are less than or equal to the threshold, but greater than or equal to 1. Run the query. Enter 2 when prompted to enter threshold. You should have 1 result. Save and close the query. Okay, so this is what I've written for that criteria. It has to be greater than 1 and less than or equal to the threshold. So this inner threshold is in square brackets, and that's what the user will be prompted for. So it then says run the query and enter 2 and prompted to enter threshold. You should have 1 result. Save and close the query. So if I go to datasheet view, you can see it says enter threshold. I'll hit 2 and the result is 1. And so we're going to save that and then we'll close that. All right, so in step 9 says open the rounded prices query. Okay. In design view, create a new column to round the retail price of each item to the nearest dollar. Okay. We need to name that field rounded retail. So retail is the name of the field. So we need to round, we're going to use the function round, and then we're going to use the field, and that goes in brackets, retail, bracket, into function. And then just like the expression names we've built before, we're going to call this rounded retail, colon, and that will give us what we're looking for. The second part of this is to create a new column to display luxury for all items that have a rounded retail value of $100 or more, and every day for items that are less than $100. Name the field class, run the query, save and close the query. All right, so the name of this field that we want to appear on the screen is going to be class, colon. And we want to use the if function that's built into this database. So we're going to say if, and we're going to say, and it's going to be for rounded retail, bracket, wind this up so you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. If that is greater than or equal to 100, then what we want to appear is luxury, else we want to have it say every day. Make sure your spelling is correct. And we want to run this query. And so now we have class, And you can see if it's over 100, greater than or equal to 100, it's going to be luxury. Otherwise, it's every day. It's the class. So that's how you would do that. Save it, close it. Step 10 is open the overdue revenues query in design view. Add a new column to determine if an employer's performance review is overdue. And we're going to do that if the employee's date of last review, the date in this one, is null, it should display overdue. If not, it should display nothing. Name the column review status. Add the criteria of overdue to the column you just created, so only the employees who are overdue display. Run the query. Ensure that only employees with null date of last review display. Save and close the query. Sounds complicated, but it will make it easy. All right, so the name of this new column is going to be called Review Status. And we are going to make use, put a colon there, we're going to make use of some nested functions just like you would see in Excel. We're going to use the if. So let's put a space here. If, and it works just like Excel. You do your condition, and then what you want to happen if it's true, and what you want to happen if it's false. Then we're going to use another function called is null. So it checks it as it goes down and looks at every record. So remember, every function has open parentheses and closed parentheses. What do we want to check and see if it is null? We want to check and see the date of last review. Okay, put that in brackets. That's the field there. And it doesn't look like I have an open bracket here. And close parentheses. So that's going to return yes or no. So if yes, then do what? Then if it's yes, that means it is null. Then I want you to list overdue out to the side or in this column. If it's not overdue, don't do anything. So I'm going to put our own null in there, two quotes next to each other. So let's read this again and see if we've got it. So if the employer's date of last review is null, it should display overdue. If not, it should display nothing. So that's where the two quotes next together comes from. Name the column review status. Add the criteria of overdue to the column you just created. So only employees who are overdue display. All right, so under criteria, we should have overdue. So it's prompted me here. I need a closing parentheses for this first if. Okay, and overdue. That's what it wants there. You can now run it, and you can see it's just displaying those items. So that's a new query. Now we'll go back to design view. What happens if we didn't have that there and we were to run it? You would get everything. You see where there's blank there, you got the overdues out to the side. And so what the criteria is doing, when we put overdue back in, is it's only displaying the records that match overdue, which is this overdue. If it's not overdue, it doesn't display those other records. That's why we had to put this in there, part of the criteria. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And we're going to run it just so that it's in there. When it gets graded, it'll come up correctly. And then close. So we're ready for step 11. It says open the order totals by month query in Design View. Change the first column so that instead of grouping by order date, you group by month. Use the date payment function to extract the month from the date. Name the column month number. Run the query. The first line should read 5 as the month representing May with a total of $14.09 and 17 cents. Save and close the query. Okay, so we got a couple of different things to do here. So I'm going to do this a little different than we've done before. And so instead of doing order date here, we're going to do month. Name the column month number. And then we're going to use a function. Let me go ahead. Yeah. And I'm going to go to Expression Builder if it'll allow me. So that's right here. And it wants us to use a date time. So it wants us to use this function. So we've got month number colon, the expression, and we want date part. So we've got the expression already listed here. So I don't need that. Date part's the name of the function. The interval, what we want is month. So we're going to put in quotes there, M for month. You may, if you have some other kind of function, you may have to hit the help button and it'll walk you through the different things that you can do with this function. So if we hit help, it just took me to the expression builder. You may need to dig down deeper. Then the first day of the week, first day of the year, what we want is just the day. We don't need the rest of this. So our date is actually going to come from remember, we're using this particular table, and in there we've got the fields. So our date is going to come from there. Notice that automatically puts us in brackets and puts the closing parentheses there for us. So we'll click OK. And I believe that's what it's asking for. Notice over here, just to look at this, order line cost is the name of this expression. And what we're doing is getting a total of all the quantity and price and summing that, so a grand total. All right, so let's save that. We'll run it now. Come over here. And so now you see the month number that's listed and the order line cost, the total cost for each of the months. All right, we then need to save and close, and we are now ready for submission. And if all goes well, you get a great grade. So looks like I got a 97 here. I'll go to my submission. Well, let me click on that while I'm recording. I think that's interfering. Let me pause and get it open. So it looks like I missed 3 points on step 10. Field name was not set to review status. So means I did a misspelling. So give me a second. And as you can see, I did misspell it here. So all I have to do is correct that. And resubmit, and I'll get 100. So hopefully yours will go just as well. And that ends this video lecture over the graded assignment for Chapter 5.